Hey again, everybody. Welcome inside the Dome Experience. Perry's brings us the inside scoop yet again. Perry's the official ice cream of Syracuse Athletics. Orange head coach Dino Babers is with us. And Coach, you alluded to it on Monday. You gave that stink eye. Tuesday's going to be an interesting practice. Always interested in motivation of teams. And I'm sure you were motivated going into the Louisville game, but it just didn't work out from very early on. Take us into Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. What was it like with your team?
Well, some of that stuff you guys just aren't going to get because it's in-house stuff. But I think the biggest thing is that the week of the Louisville game, we took some things off of them to see if get them into that game healthier for them to be physical, and we were not physical that game, and that was very obvious across the board. So if we're going to take things off of you in practice and you're not going to be physical, we might as well put things back on in practice and see if we can be more physical in the game. So we just got back to a little bit more traditional routine, so to speak, and followed that traditional routine throughout the practice week.
What makes you confident that you're going to be your best in this game in Raleigh on Saturday?
Well, we just traditionally, if you're asking what we consistently show up to play this year. We're not occasionally not showing up to play. So based off the mathematical numbers, I need to feel good that we're going to see the old team and not that last week team.
So last week I hesitated when we sat here and we were talking about it in the room. Well, do we talk about Sean Tucker and this record? And, he needed, by his standards, just an average game, 140 yards to get it. Well, he had 95 against Louisville, which is certainly nothing to sneeze at. But it wasn't a 100-yard game. That streak is over, and he can look to start one against NC State, who is stingy against the run. But he needs only 10 yards, so as long as he's healthy and plays in this game, every likelihood is he is going to end this game as the all-time single-season rushing record holder at Syracuse. Where is he attitude-wise, and will the team feel better if that's no longer a thing, that you're beyond that, and because you got to win this game, you got to find a way to win one of these two here?
Matt, honestly, we do not think like that, and I don't think Sean thinks like that. The only thing we want to do is win the football game. And we'll do whatever we need to do to win that football game. And I think in winning the football game, some of the things that we need to do is to make sure he touches the ball a lot. So that may fall in line. But our first thoughts are finding a way to win the game, get to 6 wins, and get this team an opportunity to play the ball.
What about all the other options that you have to touch the ball, or what you perceive as the options to be spreading the ball around? I'm sure Luke Benson feels terrible. The ball was on his hands on what would have been a pretty profitable play. You've got Courtney Jackson and others kind of developing into that. Aronze Gadsden's back off of injury. Do you sense that you're becoming more of a complete offense, or at least have the option to be here late in the season?
I think if we get our guys back and they're locked in, I think we're going to have an opportunity to do some things. Whether we rush for a lot and throw for a little, or throw for a little and rush for a lot, that doesn't really bug me, but the numbers have to be acceptable. The rushes and rushing number needs to be acceptable, or the throwing number needs to be acceptable, because if not, you're making it really, really hard unless you're just dominating somebody in one area or the other.
Well, that's kind of what we've seen when things haven't worked out offensively like last week. What we're seeing is you just feel limited in what you're able to do, and really not suited to either play from behind or play from bad down and distance.
Absolutely.
So obviously one of the things there is to try to counteract that is we talk about the coin toss and that type of thing. Well, maybe you can play from the front. All right, let's wrap up with just a few matchup type things here. You look at Devin Leary, and a guy who has played, and the quarterbacks in this conference are rising to the fore here at the end of the year, and you're going to see Kenny Pickett in the Dome next week with Pittsburgh. He's been tremendous. What about Leary? What's been your observation?
Leary, I would say top 4, top 5, both sides of the conference. Really good, fast release, knows where he's going with the ball, very comfortable in the offense. You can see that him and the offensive coordinators really tied in on the same page of what they want to do. And they have a running game that is more than functional, that keeps people off of him because they have a balanced attack.
Another team like yours that now that you get into maybe a second year of coordinator duties, you're seeing really better football and more in line with what those coaches were hired for. Emeka Emezi, very productive. A guy, one of the many NC State players that feels like he's been around for 4 or 5 years, somebody they look for all over the field, but particularly in the red zone. What sticks out, whether it's that or the two running back combo? The left tackle allows them to do some things. Ekwonu is a pro. What do you see on this team?
Left tackle's a pro, probably the best player in the conference, maybe. And probably should take the maybe off. I'm trying to be nice. He's the best player in the conference. The two backs are exceptional. They're really good. They're as good as anybody in the state of North Carolina. That's why they're sitting there at NC State, and that's an area that has fantastic football players. The receiver is a little bit of an issue because the receiver can isolate. He's big, and he can make plays on third down, and he can make plays in the red zone. And his size and his ability and that quarterback's release and the ability to get him the ball gives them the opportunity to be balanced, which is difficult.
All right, they've got a winning record, and they're right there in the hunt for a reason. And Coach, we know you got your hands full. We'll let you get back to work, okay?
Thank you so much.
Orange head coach Dino Babers. Perry's brings us again the Inside Scoop.